Question 2's got us filling out a basic table, but it's missing information. So we're just going to fill in everything that we can, and then we're going to turn to algebra to try and work out the parts that we don't know. So I do know that the FX column is the score, which is in this case age, multiplied by the frequency. So 2 times 4 is 8. I've got 4 times 12, which is 48. And I've also got 5 times 16, which is 80. But I've got a few unknowns here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a letter in place. So I'm going to put an X in here. I don't want to introduce the second letter if I don't have to. So I know that the FX column is going to be 3 times X, which is 3X. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work out what the totals are so that I can work my way back to work out what X is. So turning myself into an algebra robot and not thinking about the fact there's letters and numbers, they're all just numbers. I'm just going to write down what I can see. So here I've got 4 plus X plus 12 plus 16, and I'm going to collect up my like terms. So I have got 4 plus 12 makes 16, 16 plus 16 makes 32, so I've really got X plus 32 here, and I'll write that in. And then over on this side, I've got 8 plus 3X plus 48 plus 80. It's going to give me 3X plus 136, which is what I'm going to write in here. And so now I've filled the table out, and all I really need to do is work out what X is. And there's a bit of a hint for me up here. They've given me the mean or the average, and I know that the mean is going to be the FX total divided by the frequency total. Okay, let's fill in what I know. I know the mean is 4. I know that the FX total is 3X plus 136. I know that the F or frequency total is X plus 32. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch myself over into algebra, ignore that it's a statistic question, and just use the balance method to solve for X. So I'll pop that in brackets for a minute so it doesn't fall apart, and I'm going to multiply both sides by X plus 32. And what will happen is I'll end up with 4 outside of X plus 32 equals 3X plus 136. The next move is for me to expand that, so I end up with 4 X's and 128 equaling 3 X's and 136. Balance method, I will subtract 3 X's from both sides. That leaves me with 1 X on this side and 128. And it leaves me with 136 here. I will subtract 128 from both sides. I'll have X here and I'll have 8 here. So I've solved for X, and now all I have left to do is to finish filling in the table. So I know that X is 8, so I'll replace that with an 8. I know that 3 times 8 is 24, so I'll replace that. And down here, I can see that 8 plus 32 would make 40. And finally, if I do 3 times 8, which is 24, and I add it to 136, I'd get 160. And the table's complete.